All right, we are underway from Argostoli. We left at 3 a.m. and crossing over to Sicily. So we're making our way out of the Argostoli harbor here, ran into a couple fishing boats, nothing really big, and the winds are kind of fluky. We had actually pretty good winds while we're on anchor overnight, but now it's died down to 5 or 6 knots, but forecasted to come up later, so we're gonna probably have some good sailing across the Sicily. But we're underway, a little bit groggy. Karen's behind the wheel trying to make sense of things. I was up on the bow with the spotlight looking for anything, but everything's okay, and we're getting a little bit of new wind here, and so we're sort of like a night and a half to cross over there. We left at 3 a.m. to try to get our arrival late day tomorrow, and not have to do another overnight. So we'll see how that works out. So you can see there's quite a bit of ship traffic. This is Kefalonia, and the line there is pointing to Syracuse on Sicily. So we're getting a lot of shipping traffic going along here up to the Adriatic and back. So I've got to watch for that. I got a ship coming here on my starboard soon.
Watching the sunrise while underway.
Hi, I'm Tom.
And I'm Karen.
Welcome to Life 4.0, where we share our adventures of life aboard our sailboat as we explore this amazing planet, one anchorage at a time.
This summer, we're crossing much of the Mediterranean, from Greece to Italy, Malta, Spain, including out through Gibraltar Strait, then along the Portuguese coast before we finish the summer in the Galicia area of northwest Spain.
So I decided to put the code 0 up. We were getting speeds that were a little too slow. We really need to average about 6.5 knots, and we were down to 6, and it doesn't seem like a big difference, but it was going to put us in at like 2 o'clock in the morning with an average speed of 6.5. We'll get in there maybe 8 o'clock in the evening, just before nightfall. So I put the code 0 up, and we're doing, now we're up to 7.3, and that's going to help a lot on our ETA. It just feels good to be moving along and not having to use the engine. I'm sure we're going to have to use the engine as we get closer. The forecast had a lot of sort of mixed variable wind tomorrow. So we'll take advantage of the wind today and what we can do with it to sail and avoid having to run the engine. The code 0 is doing well. You may not be able to hear me once I get into the wind here, but I've got it on a close reach here, almost close haul really. We're at 55 degrees apparent, and this is about as close to the wind that we can sail the code 0. It's not terribly efficient for the code 0, but it's better than just flying our jib. So she's pulled in pretty tight down here, pressed a little bit against the bimini tube there, and with the shape of the sail, that's about as far as we can get it in, but we're doing 7.3 now, 7.4 knots, so good for the ETA. I like to see it. I hate motoring.
Alright, so we have a bird join us. We're, I don't know, 100 or so miles out from Kefalonia, and we have this dove, or pigeon, I'm not sure which. He's thinking that I'm going to hurt him, and I'm not, and he wants to rest. He's out here in the middle of nowhere, and I don't know if he knows where he needs to go from here. So, he's getting a little bit of a rest, hanging out with us. He landed up on our solar panels, and then he flew around when I came to check him out. As long as I keep my distance, I think he's fine. Wonder how long he'll stay. He flew off at one point and just sort of circled around and came back like he needed to he needed to have a place to rest. He's still hanging out with us. Wondering if he should jump. Wondering how he can get a fish.
So as much as we try to get an accurate, as much as we try to find a good forecast data for this crossing, really it all kind of turned out to not really be worth much. We got a little bit of wind according to the forecast early on. We sailed with that, but soon enough it kind of the wind we were experiencing didn't match at all with the forecasted wind. So it's what it is, I guess. It's light wind conditions. We were hoping for a little more sailing, but you know, the alternative of having high winds or high headwinds would have been really annoying too. So can't complain, but it just ended up being like 80% motoring, probably 90% motoring. But we're here, and we will have fun exploring Sicily. This will probably be more of what we're going to face, because the general direction of us going out the Med is a little bit against prevailing winds. So we're probably going to have more legs like this, unfortunately. So we'll be putting our Yanmar diesel engine to the test this summer. All right, after a long trip of motoring, we are just outside the entrance to Syracuse in a hazy late afternoon day. Syracuse, we're looking forward to staying here for a couple days. I just called the Port Authority on the VHF, and you have to fill out this emailed health form, wait for an answer from, I guess, a health authority or doctor before you're allowed to get off the boat. So, and they wouldn't say how long that process would take. Some people have told us it takes a couple hours, other people have said it takes 48 hours, so we're hoping for the shorter of the two. Taking in our first sights of Syracuse. Great big protected entry here to the harbor back there, harbor front where we came in. You can hear some music playing there, a little like restaurant or function area. Coast Guard office right there. Of course, a couple big super yachts. Those are always prevalent everywhere in Italy. And our approved anchoring spot is somewhere over in there. They gave us specific Latin lawn to anchor in. We're gonna have a lot of fun exploring the waterfront and old city part around here. There's a marina there, 90 euros a night, which is, we're back in expensive marina territory. There's a town key here that's free for 5 nights. So I'm sure there's some kind of important difference between the two. And then the land of super yachts. That sailboat is huge on the dock there. Sunset behind me in Syracuse Harbor. It's a little after 8 o'clock and we are all anchored and settled. We're both just so delighted to have arrived here during daylight hours before the nightfall. There were so many ETA projections when we were coming over that was putting us in here at like 10, 11, 2 o'clock in the morning. Crazy stuff like that. So we ended up having to motor a little more than we would have, but definitely was the way to go, to come in here when we could still find our way around and enjoy sunsets like the one behind me. I had to send in this like health declaration form that the Port Authority emailed to me on the way in, and I also sent them copies of our vaccine cards, even though they didn't ask for those, just so they had them, and sent it off to 8 email addresses. I'm not sure how that works, but we're supposed to hear back from somebody, and when we hear back from somebody, then I need to call the Port Authority on Channel 16 again and confirm that we have permission to leave the boat and go ashore. Just woke up this morning, looked out the porthole, and I couldn't see anything, and I realized it is all foggy here in Syracuse. Never seen this before in the Med. It's like we're in August in Maine. There's a catamaran over there. I can barely see through the fog. And I can hear a kind of road noise. But this is like pretty darn heavy fog. Seeing that I can only see one boat.
Okay, we're on a little harbor tour. We're in the canal here that separates the old town of Syracuse from the new. And we've already passed through here once, so I know I won't freak out too bad. and we decided to record it on the way back. So we go under two bridges. This is the old bridge, Ponte. I'm not sure. Here we go. Eek. Very old. All right. Come out the other side. We survived. We've been here for about 40 hours, and we still have not heard anything about being able to go to shore. We've tried to call, we've emailed, we've sent 2 versions of a health form, we sent it again. So we're sort of perplexed and a little frustrated, because we'd like to keep moving. We'd like to see this place, check into Italy, and be able to spend more time in the other areas of Italy, but we will see.
Okay, I'm going to call the harbor master again. They told me after I've talked to them earlier today, and then just a minute ago, they said to call back in 20 minutes to see if they have any more news. So hopefully it's good news. Buonasera, this is Ciro's calling. Yes. We do have permission. Okay, great. I see the reply. Okay. We want to go to the quay. Yes. 12 meters 6. Very good. Bye-bye. Thank you, grazie. Bye-bye.
Yeah. All right.
Do you want to stay at anchor, or do you want to go on quay? Quay. Why not? So we have to translate that. We are going from Italian to English. Google Translate. Upon the director's disposition, having regard to the official documents, free medical practice is granted at 16:30 today, June 28th. Compliance with government, ministerial, regional, and local provisions is recommended. Greetings, or salute.
We're finally on land after waiting almost 2 full days for permission. This is travel during a pandemic, it would seem. After securing sea rows to the town quay, we wasted no time setting off for exploration, and of course we first headed to the immense fortresses at the harbor opening. So this was a moat? What do you know about this?
This was a moat at one point before it was closed off, but it was meant to obviously protect the castle. They closed it off at some point. I don't know when, but to make it a little more accessible, I think, for visitors. And this is the very outer point of the town of Syracuse.
The harbor entrance is just around the corner.
Yeah, we come in right around that way.
We walked along the waterfront toward the old town, seeking a place for refreshment and dinner. In the morning, we headed out in search of the market. Oh, what a delight. The spices and nuts.
Yep.
I so wish we had markets like this throughout the U.S. Sure, they exist in pockets, but not to the extent that they can be found throughout Europe.
Just got back from the farmer's market, I guess you could call that, daily market. Quite the mother load.
Yeah, and that's not including our tomatoes.
Tomatoes. Show us some tomatoes.
Yeah, we have like 2 bags of tomatoes. It's hard because it's only 2 of us eating, but it just looks so good. So there's those guys.
Cherry tomatoes
And
in an environmentally friendly paper bag. And then
then a variety
Karen's
of heirloom.
test tomatoes. Testing it.
Heirloom tomatoes and then these little guys.
Oh yeah, those look good.
Yeah.
Bread, pecorino cheese, Parmesan cheese, some salami. This is like a tomato kind of paste that they put on
dried tomato
paste they put on top of bread and cheese and serve that to us as a favor. Nectarines, grapes, all important buffalo mozzarella cheese, basil. It was a good morning.
This is pretty yummy peach.
Peaches for the morning breakfast routine.
Yeah. We have our sheep yogurt from
Greece.
Greece.
Can't find that anywhere else apparently.
No, I've looked in the U.S. I'm going to try again when I go back. Maybe some specialty store will have it. Yeah. All right, so now one of the great things about sheep yogurt is it is really quite dense. So I usually stir it up ahead of time.
Yeah, look at that. Good stuff.
And it just has a really chill flavor. I mean, a bite to it. It doesn't have, like so many yogurts have more of a bite, but this one has a more smooth flavor. All right, globby glob.
Dabbled over like icing.
Yep. That'll be our breakfast.
Some people might add honey to it, but that's more
Some
of a
people,
dessert.
I think we have lots of sweetness in here with these yummy peaches.
Yeah. All right, thank you, Greece, for your
Yes.
contribution to our Sicilian breakfast.
In the afternoon, it was time for some culture, and it came in the form of architecture and artistic display. We were taken in by the beautiful stone columns at the entrance to Castello Maniace, where the exhibit was housed.
All right, we're into the center room of the castle here. Looks like they turned this into kind of an art project. They've got a mirror floor that's sort of cracked in different patterns. This gentleman over here who's sweeping up. And then all of these balls in different colors. Very, very cool.
This installation by Alfredo Piri is called Posse and was curated by Helga Marsala. It covers the entire surface of the Sala Impostia of Castello Maniace. As you can see, the floor is covered with fractured, walkable mirrors, and it is a brilliant and mesmerizing marriage between contemporary art and the 1,000-year-old monument it so wonderfully integrates with. Looking into the floor gave you a feeling of continual architectural structure from the stunning ceiling overhead, down the walls and columns, to the imaginary underpinnings below you.
Very, very cool. They took this really old building, old castle, and turned it into kind of a little bit of an art project. Why not?
They would put big long beams through there and make a second floor. So, pretty incredible.
We're up here on top of they call it the Gunner's Vernazza, like the upper level where the gun emplacements would be, and you can see how thick that wall is, how protective it would be. And a good view of the rest of the Ortigia island of Syracuse. And a modern lighthouse stuck in there for current day navigational people.
If you enjoyed this, please subscribe to our channel and click on the bell to get notified of new videos.
All right, we've got our last night in Syracuse. We are on the dock. Been here on the dock for 3 days. And there'll be some things we miss, but this techno beat music, if you can call it music, that goes on till the wee hours of the morning is something we'll not miss at all. So it's been kind of fun to be on the dock. You just, obviously you just walk right off the boat and you can go wherever you want in the town, and so that's a lot of convenience, and it's free, so that doesn't hurt at all. But this stuff, it just goes on all night. Glad we got a chance to see it all. Some great little narrow alleyways, and there's a neat castle at the very end of the point, and we got some practical stuff done. We got SIM cards and laundry done and that kind of stuff, so knocked those things off. Got some boat projects done, so mix of fun and work. And now we're headed down the coast of Sicily to get ready to cross over to Malta. And we're going to be checking the weather to see what timing works best for that. But it's time for us to move on from Syracuse. It's the point, southern point of the entrance to Syracuse Harbor. And we're rounding it as we leave Syracuse, heading south on the Sicilian coast. So lots of little caves and stuff in there. We were gonna stop here if it was accommodating with conditions, but there's a pretty big swell rolling in from over here from the north. There's high winds apparently north of us in the Messina Straits, so makes this a little inhospitable as far as visiting with the boat. But we can still.
That's where those little buoys are, is right where I think we were gonna try to go into.
Yeah, but at least we can sightsee from our boat.
Join us next time as we explore the beautiful and historically important country of Malta.